And the title of this program is Serialization. The serialization means one thing following after another, and it seems to have certain patterns, and some of the stars and the actors are basically the same. So it's a serial. It's something that you can turn on. It used to be weekly, but now you can binge certain programs. You can wait till they all come out, and you can watch them all in one day or a day and a half. So this is serialization. I call it that because this thing about longevity, this thing about endurance, this thing about certain patterns and habits developing over and over again, and this idea of redundancy is a real thing for us. I just got a call on the phone a little while ago, and it was from us, I guess it was an insurance. So the lady said, well, I'm da-da-da-da-da, so-and-so, and I just want to talk to you about, so basically it was about insurance. She said, I just want to ask you two things. One is your age and who are you insured by? I said, I'm insured by God. I didn't say Allah like it was, I was using, a word that you could kind of mess with. I said, I'm insured by God. So she waited a hot second and hung up. And I laughed so hard it was, you wouldn't believe it. And I was laughing because it was the things that we've been dealing with over a long period of time. They couldn't happen unless you were under Allah's protection. In other words, the full force of the United States government has clearly been working against us. I mean, specifically, daily, over and over again. And we know that. Not only we know it, but everybody else that comes around. Everybody else knows that. All the groups and all the organizations, they already know that. It ain't no, they know it in California. And they've been saying for decades that I think the FBI is up in there, Well, the FBI and everybody else is up in here. And so this thing about being protected by Allah is correct. And we don't go by any illusions like they have illusions in America about, I have a right to privacy. Well, we realize we don't have a right to privacy. And that's a big step. When you come to that conclusion and practice and function, and you realize you don't have no privacy, and whatever you do and whatever you say will be scrutinized, and you might be so deprivatized that you may be rigged from the inside out. You don't have no privacy, and that's a big step when you come to that conclusion that you don't have no personal life. But that's a big step in personal evolution when you realize that no, you don't have no privacy, nor do you have a right to privacy, and you eventually evolve to the point to where you don't want no privacy. Why? Because you have to study what will you have to fight. What is your struggle? And in our struggle, this is a struggle, and by the way, we slapping, I'll say it in good old English, we slapping the piss out of whoever's going against us. They're getting slapped around like not balls, like this, like bums. They're slapped around like bums because they kicked in at the wrong time. So in this evolution, we realize we don't have a right to privacy, and we have not had a right to privacy. We don't even remember when we had a right or when that was practiced. It was at least before 66, because after 66, we were in the public domain. That means your name is in the public domain and your life is in the public domain. But nowadays, for the last 40 something years, 50 years, it's been clearly in the public domain. So to use this public display of your private life as the means to your freedom and liberation is a godsend. So you don't have a right to privacy. So now what I'm going to do, what you're going to do, what they're going to do, you're going to use that for to reach your nirvana type. You're going to use it. Each people have to use whatever covering or whatever protection that they have. They dropped so much Agent Orange in Vietnam because it had so much cover. The jungle covered everything, and they wanted to defoilize everything, which they did. It's still getting together now. Not only they kill a lot of them, they kill a lot of their own troops with that Agent Orange. So use this public display of your private life as a means for your freedom and liberation. Because you realize you don't have no public right to privacy, so that is your battle space. That's your battlefield. Okay, so the technique for success is to understand what is your battle space, what are you fighting in, what period, what time, what area, what are you, and that's yours. Is that they would call it you giving up your privacy, but you're not giving up your privacy. Your privacy is what's called a sacrifice. It's like a sacrifice play. You make a bunt to get on first base, and then you steal the other bases. If you're Jackie Robinson, of course, right? So a bunt is a sacrifice play, and it goes so slow that by the time the pitcher squeezes in on the ball, the guy from third base then came on. And so they're studying the battlefield, and they see, what am I going to hit? Listen, man, we got loaded, we got this, that, another, and all we need is one run. We can get one run in. So I'm going to bunt. And that's what they tell him, bunt. And he bunts, and he brings in the home, and they win the game. For us, the sacrifice play is our privacy and how to manage it. We've been doing it so long that it's a natural part of you. And battlefield commanders are always warned. Don't use the same policy over and over again, or your enemy will adopt to your tactics. So you can't use that over and over again. But if you narrow down boss man's methods of attack, you might exhaust his. You can exhaust. He thinks he has many things to work with, but he has a bundle of things to work with. So you want to exhaust him. And that's the way you exhaust him. You stick with him long enough. 95% of ability is stickability. It don't make no difference what nobody say. Real ability is the ability to hold on, to stick around. We've said that for decades and we mean it. The longer you stick around, the longer the battle space is adjusted. This Friday, one of the brothers came to Juma with a new truck, the same brother that I took the car over and is supposed to fix the car. And months ago, I told him, well, the car's out there. Yeah, I said, the car's out there. He had a new truck, though. And so I said, yeah, it's out there. You can come fix it or you can leave it out there. It doesn't make no difference. But the thing is that he came by here for a certain reason, for display or to get that question. Like they sent me something on the internet. This is such and such auto. It's been several months. We just call and check to see, not calling, however they text us, whatever, to see how everything is going. Well, he wanted me to say, well, the car is not hell. I put water in it and it runs out just like it's been doing. I didn't send him that. I said, you can come over and fix it. And so you stall long enough and then pretty soon they send somebody by. Yeah, send somebody by. They got to, the same person that's supposed to fix it. They come by and that's stickability, the ability not to panic and not to get, if this would have happened 40 years ago or more, you see the police sitting out front of your house, you get nervous and you get mad. You get all that stuff. It don't make, now you manage them. And we know we manage them. I went by the dentist's office this morning. Well, I went by Friday after Juma. Actually, I went a week late because I bit into one of those doggone dates. It was a seedless date, but every 100 of them have a date seed in there. So I bit into it and it broke my tooth up. There's no problem. Now, my dentists are 100% the police, and they think they're Negro dentists right around there. And you could tell when they get piped into the system. You could tell. They give off the, well, anyway, it's a long story, but they give off an air that we've been piped into the governmental system. We know who you are, we know, but they play like they don't know nothing. So that's no problem. So I went by there today, and Friday the lady said, well, we're going to take 2 of your teeth out over here. So when I went by this morning, I said, I don't need but one taken out, and you could take that out. And I said, they're not frozen together where you got to take them both out, are you? No. Because that means they would have did it if it was like that. Okay, would you just wait a little while? I done changed this thing from pulling 2 teeth to no, I never was going to pull 2 teeth because it's only one that's loose. And I'm at a certain age, and if you keep pulling teeth, pretty soon you won't have no more. They wanted to pull a tooth and put some others in, something like that. So I ain't gonna do that. No. I'm so old. I don't need. I keep what I got, and if they're gonna get, they will let it stay in there. They that thing you got there the last 10 years. So hell, I'll be 87 years old then. You think I care anything about teeth after 87 or 90 or 100? So anyway, okay, so now they got to call back and check what to do because boss man had told them to do certain things. Okay, maybe they're gonna rewire it or put something in there, or signal. That don't make no difference what it is. So I wait around there about an hour and a half, and I go outside. I say I gotta go outside because I feel there's something coming on. I say, this temperature in here, if it's got a little moisture in the air, I say it pops off a little. I call it a government itch. I'm telling you, I said, I get a little government itch, so I'm going to go outside. I said, all right, yeah, I'll just go out there and sit. And then, it's, it's like this nice, and it's no humidity, and all of that. So after about an hour, I went back in and I said, well, we checking on them streams. We got this. I said, now I know. And I done told the new girl sitting behind the desk. I said, yeah,